guys, welcome back to the Motorcycle Travel Channel. As you can see in the intro, today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm throwing the motorcycle on the back of the van and I'm heading down to the Buenos National Wildlife Refuge in southern Arizona. It's a few hours away from where I live in Bisbee, and I decided to do a little bit of motorcycling down in this area, but also make it a van trip. And I'm really glad you're along for this video. It's going to be something a little bit different. And now I'm at this old ranch property. I can't tell for sure if they use it or not anymore. I suspect that they do because all of the gates are still working. So it's just one of those things that you find out here in the desert in southern Arizona. This is hot, dry country. I'm surrounded by rolling mountains off in the distance, mesquite trees, saguaro cactuses on the hillside. In fact, I saw a sign over here showing that you could call 911 for emergency help if you need it, in case you get stranded out here, you're out of water or something like that. And it's worth mentioning too that we're pretty close to the southern border with Mexico. And so you do get some migrant traffic coming through here, people that cross the border looking to make a new way of life in the United States. And they run out of water in places like this, and it can be deadly. That is something to bear in mind traveling in this part of the country. I'm going to keep on the road heading to the Buenos National Wildlife Refuge. We'll learn about that in this video, and I'll spend a couple days riding and van camping. Stick around. So as I'm traveling down this road in the van, driving into the National Wildlife Refuge, I'm definitely paying attention to these roads because these are the kind of roads that I'm going to be riding my motorcycle on. That just gives me an idea of like what to expect up ahead once I get on the motorcycle. You know, they're basic desert roads, I guess you'd say. They're dirt. They're not too hard to drive. I don't think they'll be too hard to ride. But some of the things to bear in mind would be that it can be rocky. There's definitely some lips and edges, uneven surface, maybe some embedded rocks at times, some loose rocks, and of course some sand. You never know how much sand you'll get on these kind of roads. But anyways, that's just something I'm thinking about as I'm going through this landscape, and it's really beautiful. I mean, just look at this. So driving down these empty desert roads surrounded by mountains in the distance and cactus, it just feels like I'm out in the middle of nowhere. And yet I know that this is really somebody's home. In fact, you'd be surprised there's a lot more people living out here than you would necessarily imagine. Anyways, we've made it to our destination, the Buenos National Wildlife Refuge. And I just crossed the border into the refuge. So looking at the map here, you can see that the National Wildlife Refuge goes from the border of Mexico north. So it generally runs kind of north and south, and we just entered on the pavement up here. That's where we're at right now. There's over 200 miles of dirt roads in this wildlife refuge, and most of them are the kind of roads I've been driving this morning. They're desert roads, they're dirt, they might be a little rocky, a little bit sandy, and they definitely are remote. All of these red triangles here are campsites. They're established campsites that you can camp in for free. And so we're going to pick one of those, I'm thinking somewhere in the middle of the refuge here, and spend the night there. And then this afternoon and tomorrow for sure, I'll ride around on some of these back roads and show you what it looks like around here. You can drive any of the 250 miles of designated dirt roads on the refuge. Most dirt roads require high clearance and some may be impassable after rains. Designated roads are shown on refuge maps. As you can see from the sign here, it says that you can camp at designated sites. You're allowed to burn dead and down wood and use the fire rings at the campsite. You can collect firewood for campfires in the refuge. That's pretty cool. This is a list of all the birds that you can see down in this refuge, and it is, as you can see, it's a huge list. This is one of the birding hotspots in North America. It's a major migration corridor for so many birds. I'm gonna head out for a little afternoon sunset ride, and I definitely don't want to leave without bringing my toolkit, a tire patch puncture repair kit, and an air compressor. Probably won't need any of those things, but you never know. I just don't want to get out there and have a flat tire and have to walk back to the van. Also a good idea to bring some water. say we're doing pretty good tonight. The sun just went down and I managed to get in a quick little ride out here in the wildlife refuge before dinner. I've got a fire going. I even have my favorite meal to cook, as you've seen in plenty of videos, a ribeye steak tonight. We're gonna cook that over some coals on the fire. Have a nice drink, just relax, and then spend tomorrow riding around this place. You know, it's gonna be a fun day. I've got all day to ride, and then I can come back to my camp again tomorrow night. And I tell you, the thing I like about it, number one, obviously, is the comfort factor. It's just a lot more comfortable and a lot easier to camp out of a van than a motorcycle. And when it works out, when you can do that, when I can do that, it's great. Like on a trip like this when I'm close to home. Other trips where I might ride a long ways away, obviously I'm not necessarily gonna do that. But on a trip like this, it's kind of fun. It just breaks it up, give me a little chance to camp out of my van, have a little more comfort. And then the other thing that I like is when I go riding all day tomorrow, I don't have to have panniers and luggage with camping equipment and all that stuff on my motorcycle, because all that stuff is in the van, so I can be a lot more lightweight. And that means I can ride on harder roads, I can ride more aggressive. It can just be a different change of pace and a different style of riding. So I'm looking forward to doing that tomorrow, and looking forward to bringing you guys along on this trip. So welcome aboard once again. Let's cook some steak, have a good camp out, and then go riding tomorrow. A little grilled ribeye steak, some potato salad, and some cucumbers and tomatoes. Camping out here in the desert down in southern Arizona. It's a beautiful night. I got here just before sundown. Found a great free place to camp, built a campfire, cooked up a steak. Now I'm going to have a beer and just relax and enjoy this peaceful oasis of solitude. And then tomorrow I'm going to get up and ride my motorcycle around this area. We're going to explore the Buenos National Wildlife Refuge. From what I understand, there's over 200 miles of dirt roads in this area, so I'm going to do my best to see as much of it as I can, and then we'll find another place to camp out in the desert tomorrow night. What a good time. I'm glad you're here with me, and I hope you stick around for the ride tomorrow. I'm going to sign off right now for this evening, finish my dinner here, have a beer, and then go to sleep out here in the peaceful quiet of the desert.